Hello, all my chickadees. Hello. Welcome. We're finally getting back into Divine Speaker. I had to skip last week because I was sick. But this week is definitely we're diving back in. I'm really excited to continue the story. I have a feeling it's still going to be a while before we find Caspian, but we still gotta look for him, right? Alright. We're gonna dive on in. If you haven't seen our other parts of Divine Speaker, I suggest you check out my channel. We have a complete playlist of all of them, so you can go and check them out and catch up to where we're at right now, because we've been playing for, oh my gosh, like over 19 hours now on this story. Alright, we left off right here. Oh yeah! I remember where we were. Raen and Dawn are sharing a room because Zarin bought everybody like first class rooms, and he also bought us like new clothes. Oh, okay. Okay. And oh yeah, Raen and Dawn actually practiced dancing with each other last night. It was really cute. Okay. When I moved, he cuddled in closer, nuzzling into my body. It felt nice. I shouldn't wake him just yet. His face was soft, with porcelain skin. Of course, it's not the first time I've seen it, but something felt different about it in that moment. More intimate. More beautiful. Like a doll. Both fragile and strong. With him in my arms, I felt like I'd be happy to stay like this forever. His eyelashes fluttered open, and suddenly his eyes met mine.
Good morning, Fawn. What are you doing?
We just looking at you. You're so cute. We just wanted to look at you, babe.
I'm not doing anything. I woke up and you were there. Don't blame me.
He went to pull away, but I held him close.
Don't go yet. Isn't it comfortable? This isn't... I was right. She's gone. When we were traveling through the Amaranth Forest, she was quiet too. But this... It feels like it's for real this time. I hope she's okay.
He's talking about the voice in our head that happens while we're sleeping.
I'm sorry, Raen. It's alright. I'm glad you were here when I woke up, though.
We stayed like that for a while longer. Neither of us saying anything. It was comfortable silence. We didn't have to say anything to enjoy each other's company. Birds outside the window tweeted and chatted, enjoying the morning sunlight. Eventually, we rose from bed and dressed, heading out to the lobby to find Leos.
Leos, there you are.
About time you showed up. By the way, thanks for your help yesterday.
Help? What did I help you with?
You let that horny fucker drag me off.
Yes, we did.
Oh, did you have fun?
What do you think?
I think you really enjoyed it. Honestly, if you didn't want to be dragged off by him, you wouldn't have.
Oh, we calling him out.
Good morning! Did you all miss me? Oh, Leos, why did you run off last night? I would have let you stay over, you know. I have a big bed. You totally both fit.
Leo's moved to the other side of me, further away from side. He's hiding his linky ass behind us. This is an interesting development.
Good morning, Sign.
Morning, sunshine. Did you have fun yesterday?
We gave ourselves a tour of Sidcaeum. It's really something else. Oh, hey, I wanted to ask. We saw this big statue and we were wondering who it was.
Elliot?
That's him!
They call him Elliot the Godslayer. He was a general that led Sidcaeum's armies during the Aurelian War.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Godslayer, I don't like that title.
How'd he get a title like that?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. The story goes that he slayed an evil god that was threatening Sidcaeum. Obviously, I thought that they'd exaggerated a little, but perhaps it's actually true.
My mind flashed to our fight with Nox. How I struggled against him helplessly. Elliot must have been strong if he actually managed to kill someone like that.
Anyway, I have great news. I've sorted everything out, and I can get you two into the ball no problem. Go on, praise me.
Good job, Sign.
Both Fawn and I clapped, but Leos just folded his arms over his chest.
Yeah, congratulations, or whatever. What's the plan until then?
Since we didn't get much of a chance to do it yesterday, we could ask around about Caspian. Maybe the ball won't even be necessary and we'll just run into him.
Oh, if that's the case, then we should split up.
Why do you always want to split up?
Because he wants one-on-one time. He wants one-on-one time. That's why he wants to split up.
One-on-one time is fun. Okay, I pick Leos.
I called it. I called it.
Wait, what? Why me? I refuse.
Sign winked at Fawn before linking an arm with Leos.
Why not? I could compete for Raen, or I could take advantage of the fact that I have a tall, handsome man right here. Plus, I don't mind hanging off your arm for a day.
Find a different arm.
Nope, my mind's made up. I want you. You two, meet me in the upper levels by sundown. It's totally easy to find.
Oh, poor Leos.
The upper levels?
Bye-bye. Come on, Leos. At least wrap an arm around me whilst we walk or something.
Leos looked up at me pleadingly as he was dragged away by Sign once again. Oh, I'm sorry, boy. Oh, dear. Yes, take Leos so it could be with Fawn. Yeah, we do get one-on-one time with Fawn, but, like, poor Leos. Hello, Leo. Welcome in. How you doing today?
I kind of feel sorry for him.
Me too. Not much we can do about it, though. I bet he secretly enjoys it. Now, where should we go?
We made our way outside into the wintry wonderland that is Sidcaeum. I watched the clouds pass by the mountain peaks as we walked. Some mist clung to the tips, giving the whole city a mystical, fantastical feeling. To live among the mountains is pretty amazing. Fawn stood beside me, head held high. He didn't seem as bothered as he was before. It made me happy, seeing him be confident. The fawn that hid behind me in Stagwitch was long gone. First, we wandered through the main streets. Speaking to people along the way, we asked them all the same questions, but they all shook their heads and told us they didn't know who I was talking about. Fine, but tired from work and humans in general. Yeah, that's a mood. That is honestly a mood. I hope you get some rest this afternoon and a little break from humans, because, yeah, they can get to be too much.
Is it no good after all? Does he just not exist? I feel like I'm chasing after a ghost. Right there, but I can't seem to grab a hold of any threads.
Just look at how vast the world is, Rain. Bigger than you or I ever could have imagined. Full of all kinds of people. There'll be someone out there that knows about him.
If only I could have asked more about Caspian from Nox.
He puts his hand on my shoulders and squeezed.
You already did well. We'll find him, I promise.
Oh, Fawn's been such a supportive little bean. I reached up and placed my hand on his. He smiled at me, softly, sweetly.
Fawn, Ah!
I skidded over the snow-ridden pavement and landed flat on my back, arms spread out. Fawn rushed to my side and knelt down.
Are you okay?
I think it's my pride that hurts the most.
Now your pride hurts. Rain, I didn't want to say anything, but you're incredibly clumsy. You're always falling over and bumping into people.
That's so not true. I'm a perfectly capable person.
Perfectly capable of making a mess of things. I love that about you.
Oh? You love me?
You walked straight into that one.
That's not what I said.
Oh, that's what we heard.
Aw, you don't...
He answered me with a handful of snow dumped onto my face.
Ah, that's cold. Okay, I'm sorry.
You get what you deserve. Hey, I was wondering, have you ever actually seen snow?
No, never.
Look at this.
I sat up slightly until I was kneeling beside him. He rolled 3 balls of snow and placed them on top of each other.
A snowman Rain.
Oh, it's cute. Then we need a snowman Fawn, too.
I rolled up 3 matching balls and constructed a fawn snowman right next to the other one.
There we go. I'd be lonely without you, after all.
Oh, they're being too cute. They're being so cute. Oh my gosh. Love Fawn's design. He looks like a Disney princess, and Rain looks like a typical prince. Disney, take notes. Exactly. They look so good. They look so good. They definitely look like a prince and princess right now. Sign has good taste. I mean, because Sign designed the outfits for him.
Have you had a chance to think about what you'll do after this?
After I find Caspian, I don't really know anymore. Not that long ago, I would have said I'd go home. Now, is that even an option? I'm not welcome there. So, no, I have no clue. If I stayed out here, what would I do? If I go home, would I have to pretend none of this ever happened?
If they would even let you home, boy.
It's difficult to think about.
No matter what, I hope that I'll still be able to see you after this all ends. If this all ever ends. Maybe I could occasionally visit or something.
Where are you going, Fawn? Are you going back to your burnt house?
I hope you don't only occasionally visit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I want you to be there with me. Wherever that ends up being.
We stood up from the ground and I brushed myself off. Around us, people glanced at the 2 men who just spent all that time making snowmen. I shrugged at them. It's alright to have a little fun sometimes, right? No need to always be uptight. As we went to leave the area, Fawn suddenly stopped, turning a corner ahead of us with someone with long blue hair, not too different to his. She was beautiful, the kind of person who would turn heads, yet she dressed rather simply.
Someone you know?
No, it couldn't be. Sorry, I was just imagining things.
Is it his mom? Not Rain being a thought, trying to fluster Fawn. Man learned about sex an hour ago. I mean, for just learning, he's doing pretty dang good, but Honestly, he's been flustering Fawn since before he even learned about all this. But now he's like, yeah, I want this boy by my side. He definitely woke up this morning. Like, I like the first scene that happened. They woke up and he was, just laying there admiring Fawn. Until Fawn woke up. It was really cute. He gave me a smile and we resumed our search. All the way to the sunset, nothing changed in anyone's responses. They never heard of a man named Caspian who came through here 18 years ago.
The sun's already setting.
We still have the ball, and we've only been here a couple of days. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we should be on our way. Do you think we're dressed well enough?
I'm not sure, honestly. Should we be wearing masks or something?
Now that I think about it, we don't even know where it's being held. All signs said was to meet him in the upper levels.
And so we went, ascending Sid Caham's infinite amount of staircases that led up further into the mountain. Eventually, we were surrounded by a district that could only be described as a home for the upper class. Couldn't see a single person that wasn't dressed in gorgeous flowing robes. They all looked, well, almost like royalty. The crowd streamed down the large street towards a white, intricate building. Looking at it, you could almost call it a palace. We followed along, trying to blend in. As we approached, Sign's golden hair came into view. I wanted to wave, but decided against it.
Hello, you two.
Oh, he said follow me. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, boy. With an air of sophistication, he turned and led us towards the door, where he handed a golden-lettered envelope to the guard.
These two are with me.
He looked at both of us for a moment, scrutinizing our every movement. I stood completely still, waiting for him to tell us to get lost. Eventually, he nodded, and the three of us walked into the building. Rain, how do you know what royalty looked like? All you got was a cult leader. I mean, yeah, you're telling the truth there. Yeah, did they wear like flowing robes at his place? I don't know. Maybe he's seen pictures. You know, that could be it. We walked into the room and I could barely contain a gasp. It was fanciful, like nothing I'd ever seen. A high ceiling decorated with intricate golden spirals and swirls took up my vision first. Then the large hanging chandelier. The wooden floor was so well polished I could see my reflection. The room was already filled with people dressed to the nines. Ball gowns and suits of every color. Even dressed as well as I was, I felt a little underdressed. Sign pulled us to one side and whispered to us.
Well, this is as far as I can go. I don't want to run into my mother. Okay, listen closely. These people really don't care about what you have to say. But if you say something that they can use against you, they'll take it. They're ruthless. Don't attract too much attention to yourselves. Oh, and try to have fun. See ya!
He left Fawn and I alone, glancing at each other in worry.
I'm not feeling awfully confident right now.
I can't say that I am either.
We passed through the crowd. They stood close together, chatting pleasantly among themselves, taking no note of us. I suppose we have to start somewhere?
Excuse me, miss?
Nothing. She didn't even turn her head my way.
I'm looking for someone.
She walked away uninterested. Oh my gosh. How snooty are they?
I'll give it a try.
He approached a young man standing alone. He was dressed up handsomely with an impressive hat on his head.
Sir, do you have a moment? May I ask you a question?
He looked at Fawn up and down, exclaimed that he was busy, then left.
They're not awfully approachable.
No, they're not. Dang.
It makes me wonder how Sign ended up so friendly, being surrounded by people like this all of his life.
He seriously is amazing to turn out like that instead of this.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I gotta give Sign a little bit of props. That's amazing he turned out like that.
I can kind of picture why he'd prefer us now.
These guys aren't much fun, are they? He doesn't seem like he'd fit in at all.
Together, we tried to talk to pretty much everyone in the room. Finally, a few answered us, but they didn't know who we were talking about. Others were too busy in their own conversations to listen to us. We were really nothing in front of them. I sighed, sitting down at an empty table. Fawn did the same.
We're still not getting anywhere. What do I need to do to get some attention around here? They only care about themselves.
Well, I do have one idea.
How about a dance?
A dance? Here? Now? No, there's far too many people around.
While being in a high-class area is exhausting, I went to a fancy restaurant and the people looked so miserable and the women couldn't even make faces from the amount of plastic surgery. I prefer being poor. Yeah, really. Poor is like... poor is more humble. And they actually don't look down at people most of the time. Yeah. Upper class is hard to blend with, it seems. A dance?
Come on. I don't want all that practice from last night to go to waste.
You can't call that practice. We both suck.
But we can suck together! I stood and dragged Fawn back to the center of the ballroom where music was from the band had begun twirling around the dance floor. It's
Just
so
a little
pretty.
dance.
Look, it's so pretty. He's got his overcoat off, so he got his little clear cape. Oh, look, yeah, you're definitely getting attention now, boys. Look how, oh, they're so adorable. I can't with these boys. I can't.
Fine. Just for a bit.
He's so gonna self-combust. At first we started slowly, simply in time for the soft music. I tried to ignore the stares from the others, wondering why two servants they never met before were dancing. Our feet mostly moved out of time to each other, and we stumbled around a bit, but that didn't matter. We smiled all the same. As the song picked up, our movements became slightly faster, and I spun Fawn around. When his arms snaked back around my neck, I pulled him closer than before. Our eyes stayed locked together the entire time. For once, even Fawn dared not look away.
I think people are watching.
Oh, yes they are.
Let them. I don't mind.
I'm sorry that I'm not better at this.
You're perfect.
I rested my forehead against his. Not sure why, but it just felt like the right thing to do in the moment. I felt him go stiff from shock before relaxing into the embrace once again.
What are you doing?
Resting. Just for a moment.
Honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing.
I wouldn't mind if a moment like this lasted forever. Will you dance again with me one day?
Oh my gosh. Raen is pouring it on. I don't even know if he's aware of it, but he is just pouring it on thick today. Oh, they're adorable. They're adorable. This has to be in-game. This has to be in-game.
Of course. You know I'd do anything for you.
Ah. I opened my eyes and looked over his shoulder. On the other side of the room, my eyes locked on a man with orange hair, pulled back into a ponytail. He was wearing an apron and dressed very simply. He looked at us dancing for a moment before going back to what he was doing.
Fawn, look over there. Let's go talk to him.
First person you see and you're like, we must talk. This is the only reboot of Cinderella I would watch. Yes. 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 Oh, there. Oh, yeah. He's actually really cute. I pulled Fawn by the hand, chasing after the mystery man's disappearing back. As we got closer, he turned around in shock, surprised at hearing approaching footsteps.
Wait, excuse me.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for scaring you.
It's all right. I was just a little surprised that anyone was paying attention to me.
I could say the same to you. No one else looks very impressed when I speak to them. My name's Raen, and this is Fawn. We're, here accompanying, Sir Synaculus.
I looked back at the doorway at the back of the room. Waiters and waitresses regularly walking in and out carrying trays of expensive-looking food.
I have a moment, but I'll have to get back to the kitchen quickly. We can chat whilst we walk. Oh, my name's Hone, by the way.
Hone? Are you a chef or something?
Nah, I'm just a baker.
His freckled face lit up as he spoke. He had an air around him that made him easy to talk to, despite not being that talkative himself.
I'm looking for a man named Caspian. He would have come through here around 17, 18 years ago. I know that's a long time, but if you can think really carefully...
Caspian? I know him, yeah.
What? Oh my gosh, a random baker knows him. Wait, do you know the Caspian we're looking for? Not like a pet dog or something. I'll call him Ho for short. Oh no, Aurelia. I ain't never seen a colored ginger. In fact, I don't see gingers in general. You don't see a lot of gingers. My nephews are both redheaded, so...
Even if you don't know him, if you could direct me to anyone else... Wait, what?
Caspian, tall, brown hair. I see him every now and then.
Can you tell us where to find him?
We've reached a doorway and Hone rested his hand against it.
I have a bakery in the lower districts. Can you stop by tomorrow? We can talk more about him then. I can't chat anymore, or I'll be at risk of not getting invited next time.
Okay, alright. Got it. I'll be there.
He bowed his head slightly and disappeared into the kitchen.
Fawn, I can't believe it, finally!
See? I told you everything would be okay.
He looks 16 at most. He doesn't know the Caspian you're looking for. Yeah. That's what I was thinking while they're walking around asking everybody. Like, most people won't remember something from 18 years ago because a lot of them were probably young themselves or maybe not even born. And the older ones might not remember at all if it's just a random guy that came by.
What now? I don't exactly feel welcome here.
Me either. Why don't we get out of here already?
Yeah, we got our lead. Let's go. On the way past, we both picked up some food and ate it while we left. You guys should get some extra food for Leo's. Come on. Just grab an extra, like a muffin or something. Hey, attend the ball with Fawn. Yay, we unlocked an achievement. No one took any notice of us, but that's nothing new. They were all far too busy with themselves. The air outside was bitterly cold, biting down to our core and making us walk just a little bit closer to each other. As we left the building, we noticed someone standing in the shadows, arms crossed.
About time you showed up.
Ilran,
Maybe you were having
hey,
a little
bud.
too much fun in there,
Hey, where's our baby?
Hello, Ilran. Were you waiting for us?
I was indeed. I have some news about Soren, but this isn't the time or place to talk about it.
Do you know Hone's Bakery? In the lower districts?
He nodded.
Meet us there by midday tomorrow. Hey, wait. Where's Varys?
Exactly. Where's our baby? I finally noticed that the peach-haired man, nor the blue bird, was anywhere in sight.
We're not always together, you know. He's watching over Soren at the moment. For some reason, he's worried sick.
Will he be okay?
Let's talk tomorrow. Midday. Hone's Bakery.
What do you mean, say nothing? That's so rude. Why is this even an option? Wasn't Caspian traveling? That meant he didn't have much money, so where's he gonna go with these fancy people? Exactly. Unless Sign's dad took him in. True. Yeah, didn't Sign say... Yeah, Sign knew Caspian when he was younger. I think. Was that Sign? Like, what is this option? Why would we say nothing? We're gonna thank him.
Thank you, Elron.
If you say thank you, it's a point for his route, I guess. Oh, okay. Okay. But we're firmly with Fawn right now. But we're gonna be nice, okay? We're gonna be nice to him. He turned around and left, quickly disappearing into the night.
As mysterious and troublesome as ever.
What do you think he wants from us?
I don't know. At first I didn't think he wanted anything. Our meetings were just coincidences after all. But now it feels like he wants something from us. I don't know.
He wants that booty. No, I'm joking. I'm totally shipping him and Varys. For sure, but you know, you brought up like it could be the route. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Varys seemed incredibly kind and good-natured. I can't imagine him using us for anything.
Well, it's a problem for a different time. Tonight, we're celebrating. We have to go tell the others.
Finally being overcome by the frigid cold, we rushed back towards the Silver Willows, leaving footprints in the fresh snow. As we came towards the door, Fawn stopped and looked at my face closely.
You...
He reached up and put his hand on my face, as if not satisfied. He closed his eyes and leaned in close.
What are you...
Oh, I know what to do. Don't mess this up now, Raen. I shut my eyes and our lips met. It was soft, sweet. I felt his eyelashes flutter against my cheek before they closed again. My heart felt like it could beat out of my chest at any moment. Every thought that was filling my head previously vanished, turning to mush. It was warm, like nothing I ever felt before, and I couldn't think of a single other person I'd like to share this with. With my hands against his cool cheeks, I pulled him in closer. I could feel his awkwardness melting away, and he pressed further into me. We stayed like this for what felt like both hours and mere moments. His eyes opened again, and he jumped away in shock.
The snow.
Pardon?
I was just reaching up to brush off the snow.
He wants Ferris's booty. That's why he's pissed he's taking care of discount vampire Sebastian. Oh, he just wanted to brush off the snow, and Raen was like, oh, we kissing. His face was completely red, and I wouldn't have been surprised if mine was too. We stayed with our arms wrapped around each other as if still clinging onto the kiss. Before I could say anything, he turned and ran inside, probably all the way back to his room. Alone and embarrassed beyond measure, I found my way back to my room and flopped down on my bed. In my head, I repeated the words that both Fawn and Ilan had said to me. My heart was beating quickly. There was a strange warmness in my chest. I don't ever want to part with him. I want to be by his side and never let him be alone again. I want to pull him close and kiss him. I think I'm falling in love with Fawn. Is it possible? Is this what this feeling is? It made no sense when they explained it to me, but now I can just tell. This is love. I stood up and walked towards my door. My hand rested on the knob, but I didn't open it. I want to go see him. Right now, I want to tell him. It's too scary, though. Why does love make you feel like that? I've never been scared to talk to him before. Maybe, for now, it's better if I rest on it and think about it tomorrow. Yeah, that's a better idea. I undressed and crawled into bed. Alone. It felt so big and empty. My hands wandered up to my lips, and I felt where Fawn's had been not that long ago. I want to do it again. With my eyes closed, I drifted off into the empty dreamland, thinking of Fawn. Oh! Yes! I am not complaining. Progress is progress. Rain, stop the cap. There are 5 other routes. It's obvious you're okay with separation. Oh, you coming for him. But they kissed. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Fawn was just like, oh, he has snow. I'm going to brush it off his face. And Rain's like, oh, we kissed. And went straight for it. Oh, but hey, he finally has realized. He's finally realizing he has feelings for Fawn. Like, he's always been like, I don't want to be apart from you. I want to be together. And now he's like, wait a minute. This is what love is? Oh, I'm proud of him for his realization. The streets of Sidcahem were particularly lonely at night. The moonlight bounced off the snow, casting everything with a cold, eerie glow. No one walked the streets, choosing instead to be tucked up in their warm, comfortable beds. Well, that was nearly true. One man fought against the cold weather, trudging through the pure white snow. He watched the moon as he walked, and he thought. He never stopped thinking. He began to wonder if it was even possible to not constantly be pondering or deliberating. Up ahead, a medium-sized, low-profile building came into view, the one he was looking for. From far away, he wondered if the one he left in there was also thinking about him. Why would he? He has other things on his mind. Nox and Soren. He approached the building and knocked 3 times, sharply, making his presence known. A shuffling came from inside, before the sounds of locks being unlatched. The door opened and he was face to face with a pink-haired man.
Hello, Zarin. Did you miss me? Where's the brat?
Excuse me? Hello? Hey, he's pretty! Holy freaking crap, he's gorgeous! Look at him! Oh, look at the angle right there. Oh, he's so pretty. And look at his little earring. And his long hair and it flowing. Oh, God. I'm smitten. No. Oh, I have a thing for long-haired men. For long hair guys.
As much as I'd miss any other pain in my behind, Titus is out. You know he doesn't appreciate you calling him that. Why did you leave your bird here anyway?
Oh, don't be so harsh. He doesn't like the cold.
You're far too attached. They don't live long, you know. You'll be devastated once he's gone.
Oh, dude, you have no clue. Our bird lives a very long time, okay? He's a special breed. He's gonna outlive you. I want him. Yes, I want him too. Look, oh god, he's gorgeous. Why? Why are they doing this to us? He's so pretty. I mean, look at those very biteable, collarbones right there. Tell me about it.
Nonsense. We'll just have to go together, eh?
Running your mouth as usual. Take your bird and leave.
Yes, sir. Oh, how's he looking?
I still need to conduct some tests. I can't answer that yet. At the very least, he seems stable. His breathing is normal, he just won't awaken. I'll bring you the details tomorrow, if I must.
You know Hone, right? That cute baker down in the lower districts? Meet me there at midday tomorrow. The other ones I told you about will be waiting for us.
Oh, you pulling in him to go to our meeting with Hone.
Fine. Now go away. I'm far too busy to be chatting with you.
He's so pretty. I want him. Can we have? Can we have? Oh goodness.
Fine, fine. You're really no fun, you know that?
The bluebird hopped into Elrond's shoulder, and Zarin answered him by slamming the door. He walked a distance from the doorway before speaking to the little bluebird who tweeted beside him.
How did it go, Varys?
Through various pecks, Varys managed to get his message across about what happened with Soren, but Elrond still wasn't fully satisfied. Usually, he wasn't so soft as to need Varys' human form beside him at all times. In fact, he'd gotten used to conversation with his bird form, but tonight, he felt a loneliness that wouldn't cease, no matter how much he wished it away. When he didn't respond, the bird fluttered from his shoulder onto the ground, and in a poof of smoke, a naked man appeared.
Whoa, whoa, what are you doing? It's freezing.
You don't say.
A moment later, he was dressed in his poncho, thanks to Ilran. He still shivered, his legs and feet uncovered.
Why did you do that? Change back. You can't walk through the snow like that.
I don't want to. I feel like chatting.
Later, when we're back inside.
Later as well, then. I'm fine like this.
No, you're not. You're freaking freezing. He's gonna get frostbitten. Give him some shoes.
No, you're not.
He sighed and knelt down in front of Varys.
What are you doing?
Hop on. I'll carry you the rest of the way back. There we go. At least your feet won't fall off this way.
Oh. Varys snuggled in close, trying to steal as much body heat as he could.
It feels nice. Thank you, Ilran. I can always depend on you.
You better appreciate it now. Once you're back up in the sky or whatever, you won't be able to be pampered by me anymore.
Elrond, I've been wanting to speak to you about that. Eternity. It's a lonely, boring thing. To exist forever? Is there anyone that would want that, truly?
Elrond's breast steeled, unsure of where this was going. He's not going to tell me he wants to stay after all, is he?
To exist until the end of time, and after that too. I couldn't think of a worse fate, Ilran. It's scary. Too painful to even bear the thought of. I don't want to stay as a human forever, and I wish even less to stay as a god forever. I think that, perhaps, my time is coming. Sooner than I'd originally thought.
What? What are you talking about?
You know, when I first got my human body, I felt like I had a purpose. To grow up with my family first and foremost. And then, after, to watch over my parents and my birthplace. But time takes everything. Everything
except for me. I'm the only one that gets left behind. My parents died. My hometown doesn't even exist anymore. What purpose did I have then? Powerless as a god, and worthless as a human being.
You're not... You've never been worthless, Varys. It's just as I told you when we first met.
I wandered for hundreds of years with no place to call home. I had no reason to exist, no right to this body when I couldn't do anything for my followers. It was only when we met that I wanted to find Aurelia Cavella again. Before then, I'd already given up on ever being able to return. I thought that if I found them again, I could rejoin them, go back to being the god that I was before. I've had a long time to think, Ilan. More time than anyone deserves. And it took me that whole time to work it out. Finding Aurelia Cavella and freeing my fellow gods won't fix everything. I don't intend to rejoin them. This is my final mission, and I will see my people freed.
Oh man, is he talking about just dying? Can you wait until Ilan dies to do your whole god thing? Yeah, he doesn't want to rejoin them though. I think he wants to just end it. But yeah, really, stay for Ilan's lifespan at least.
After I have that closure, it's time for me to pass on.
He can't be. He can't be serious. This isn't how I wanted it to be. No. I know him better than anyone else. He's completely serious. His mind's been made up.
Old gods die, and new ones will take their place. There will be a new god of the harvest. And I hope, they'll be able to do the things I was never able to do. Be the god that I could never be.
Varys, no one could ever take your place. You've earned it.
For once, Ilan was glad that Varys was unable to see his face. His eyes watered up, threatening to overflow at any moment. Varys wrapped his arms even tighter around Ilan.
You're far too kind to me. I'll keep the memories we've shared close to my heart. Always and forever.
I never thought this would be how it would end up when we met all those years ago. I never thought I'd become this attached. Perhaps if I hadn't given him that push 7 years ago. Oh, we getting a flashback? A cool sea breeze blew through the dust, filled streets of Stagwich, carrying with it the familiar feeling of home. Market stalls filled the sides of the road, covered only by thin linen tarps. Ilan reached under and pulled out an apple. They're too trustworthy here. Anyone could come by and rob them blind. A few people walked here and there, but none saw his thievery. He wasn't so dumb as to let himself be caught, especially not by people like them. He continued down the street, aimlessly throwing the apple up and down. A demon in Stagwich, huh? I've been here for 2 days already, and I haven't heard a single word about it. More false leads. The further he walked, the more run down the houses began to look. Yet candlelight could still be seen through the windows. They weren't abandoned, just well loved. Ilan peered inside. Happy families gathered around, laughing and eating, enjoying themselves despite having near nothing. He ripped his eyes away and kicked a rock further down its path. Enjoy it while you still have it. A solitary figure walking a lonely road, just as he had been for many years. When his eyes finally left the pavement, he spied someone kneeling on the pavement before a great statue, depicting a bird. As he approached, he found the statue not as great as he had first thought. Cracks and vines littered the stone, giving off the impression of it long being abandoned. In front, an old man knelt, praying feverishly. Oh, look at young Ilron! Oh god, he looks so gorgeous with his hair down like that. Dude!
What are you doing, old man?
Huh. Oh, you surprised me.
He jumped up and whirled around, surprised at suddenly being called out to.
I'm praying to Varys that our next harvest will be bountiful.
Praying? What, to a god? Ugh, you've got to be kidding me.
It might sound silly to you, young'un, but that doesn't mean it's pointless. I've got to believe someone's watching out for me.
Blind faith is such a demonic being. It makes me laugh. The gods don't care about us. They hold no loyalty to us. They never have.
What's the point? He's not watching over you. He couldn't care less about what happens to people like us.
Whether he's watching or not, I don't know. But that won't stop me from praying, as I always have.
Ah, blind faith, my favorite. How often are you here, old man? Every day?
Just once a week. He's a fan of music, you know. So sometimes I sit by his statue and play him a tune. I'm the only one left to do it for him.
An old fool so easily tricked.
Ugh, I really couldn't care less. I didn't ask for your life story.
Aye, you didn't ask. But you have the looks of a man that could use a little faith in life.
Elrond scoffed, and the old man quickly departed, leaving him in the shadow of the statue. Little bit of fate, huh? Where were they when they let my mother die, then? He looked up at the statue. With a smooth touch, he brushed the moss off the plaque. Varys, god of the harvest. For 6 days, it was much the same. Elrond sat by the foot of the statue, pipe pans in hand. He played for a few hours, softly and sweetly, but expecting nothing in return. At times, a blue bird landed in a tree nearby and listened to his music, watching intently. Elrond found it strange, but not strange enough to think about in death. That boy! The boy! He was showing up and listening this whole time! The notes rang out through the night once again, echoing back hollowly. Why am I doing this? This is a waste of time. Perhaps it's better that the old man lives out the rest of his days in blissful unawareness and peace, thinking that his prayers will actually do something. If only my mind could so easily be put to rest. Tonight, no blue bird sat watching him, listening to his song. He played his tune to no one but himself. With a sigh, he resigned himself to give up. Standing, he dusted himself off and began to leave before he caught sight of something out of the corner of his eye. Pink, peach hair. Someone was standing behind a tree close by, peering in his direction. Standing in the dark like that, it's a little creepy. Elrond took a few steps forward, coming face to face with the mysterious man. He was a little disheveled and dusty, wearing loose-fitting rags for clothing.
What are you doing?
Don't be so mean to the baby. Oh no. The man's eyes went wide and he instantly turned and ran. Elrond gave chase, following close behind.
Hey, wait! Why are you running?
Why are you chasing?
Leave me alone!
The peach-haired man put up a fight, but Elrond was faster. He reached out and grabbed a hold of his wrist, forcing him to a halt. Before Elrond could open the mouth, the boy disappeared in a poof of smoke. He coughed and spluttered, fanning the mist away. A small blue bird fluttered through the smoke upward, heading for the skies. Seeing this, Elrond leaped forward, clutching the animal to his chest as he fell to the ground. Oh, he a quick thanker. He's just, instead of being surprised that, you know, this boy turned into a bird, he's like, oh, hell no, and reached and grabbed him. Good reflexes. The smoke appeared once again, but Elrond wasn't fooled this time. He felt the human body under him and held him fast. Once the smoke disappeared, he was greeted with the same peach hair, but... Leaving Elrond confused on the ground, the man struggled out of his grasp and retrieved his clothes, quickly dressing. He was naked. Elran jumped to his feet again, circling around.
You disgusting demon! Who are you? Answer me! Or am I that far beneath you, huh? You think you're so amazing? I know what you are. I know what you're like. Your kind ruined my life. You let my mother die. You killed her!
I've never met you before. Don't give me the blame for something I had nothing to do with.
You're meant to be that god, aren't you? Varys.
His eyes went wide, but he didn't utter a word.
Some god. Look at you. A shitty shrine in the middle of nowhere. Ha! It's almost funny. You're just a demon who's turned his back on all of us. You don't care, do you?
Not calling your future bae a demon.
You don't care, even if we beg you. Even if we pray to you every day. You still ignore our pleas!
Man, he is pissed.
Goodbye. I don't have anything to say to you.
Running away? I'll kill you! I'll kill every last one of your kind!
Oh, he a very angry little bean. He charged at Varys, dagger pulled from his boot. Before he had time to think, he was flipped over as if he weighed nothing, his back hitting the ground with a dull thud. A pain ran through his entire body, making his fingers go numb.
Is that it? Get up. Didn't you say you were going to kill me? Are you nothing but talk? Don't come charging at me if you don't have the strength to follow it through.
Varys stood over Ilan, his face dire. Finally, from up close, Ilan noticed something about the man. His eyes were blank, absent.
This is nothing. Does it feel good? Knowing that you're attacking the people you're meant to be protecting?
Listen, I know your mom died, but this is a BL game. We don't accept this baggage with side couples. Yeah. It's like, dude, stop being so mean. Stop being so mean, dude. He didn't kill your mom. It was a different one.
Oh, that's right. That's what you do.
I'm defending myself. You're the one who won't leave me alone. Stop coming here and go home.
Oh, that's such a pretty shot of him.
Home? I have no home to return to anymore. Now that I finally lured you out, demon god, I'll kill you. Even if I kill myself in the process. Tell me, am I right? Are you Varys?
Yes, my name is Varys, but I am no god. Not anymore. Don't try to find me again. I'll pretend this never happened.
Before he could turn away, Ilan yelled loudly, making Varys jump.
Wait!
What am I doing? I don't have to tell him anything, and yet...
All you're doing is proving me right, you know. That old man, he really believes in you.
There's nothing left of me to believe in.
Come back here tomorrow. You'll see for yourself.
An instant later, and he was gone, lost somewhere in the shadows of the night. He just got one shot at so good luck dying. I finally met one in the flesh, but why did he seem so melancholy, as if every fiber of his being was riddled with despair? And anytime I see that word, I have to stop and think for a minute, because I heard it pronounced wrong in Megamind, and it always trips me up. He's not what I expected to find, but he's still a god? A demon? Both? Elran weighed his options carefully, thinking back on his decision. What use was directing Varys back to the old man anyway? There wasn't any, and yet... Elran cast the thoughts out of his mind and left the statue behind for the night. resolved to return the next day yet again. Tomato, tomato. Yeah, exactly. Because what was it? He said melancholy. He called it like melancholy instead of melancholy. It's like melancholy. And I'm like, oh god. Oh, school house. A lone figure sat in front of a large statue, hugged his knees tightly. He stayed like this for a time, deep in thought. When his fingers brushed against the cool stone of the statue, he found himself surprised. Someone had cleaned it. Where before moss was growing in abundance, it was now as smooth as the day it was placed there. He remembered that day all too well. How the people rejoiced and celebrated. How he observed from above, happier than ever. He watched over the land for hundreds of years by then. People had come and gone, and Varys had seen all of it. But what now? Now I am nothing. I cannot watch over them or protect them. I'm nearly powerless. What point is there continuing on like this? Wandering from place to place with no real purpose.
All you're doing is proving me right, you know. That old man, he really believes in you.
No, I have no prayers left. If I did, I'd know. I have no believers left. If I did, I'd know. I'd be able to hear their prayers, I'm sure of it. What did he want, anyway? He's annoying. Well, he did play beautiful music, though. I'm sure he has his reasons for hating us. After all, he's not wrong.
You don't care, even if we beg you. Even if we pray to you every day. You still ignore our pleas!
Why does he hate us so much? What did I do to earn his ire? Shaking his head, Varys stood from his spot and reached upwards towards the statue. It was so close, yet it felt farther away than anything else.
What must I do to regain my purpose?
Today was much like any other day. Elrond traveled from place to place, listening to gossip and swindling secrets. The life of a bounty hunter was hard, but it was the only thing he knew. It was an easy way to make money, and he only needed to risk his life every now and then. To him, it was a win-win situation. Going out in a blaze of glory. Well, it certainly sounded appealing to him. Elrond raised his hand to shield his eyes from blazing sun. It was already past midday and unbelievably hot. His time. I wonder if he'll show. He made his way back down the same path as he walked all week. As he came closer, he noticed someone. Varys stood behind a tree, watching the old man pray with all his heart. He looked as if he wanted to approach, but kept stopping himself. Elrond stayed back, watching the scene unfold. Eventually, Varys stepped out from behind the tree and stood by the praying man, who quickly scrambled to his feet to greet him.
Oh, sorry for taking up all the space, young'un. You here to pray too?
You pray to a god?
Of course. To Varys.
But why?
Always have, always will. Growing up, my entire family would gather here to pray. Other families, too. I'd say half of Stagwitch basically lived at this statue. We'd celebrate with music, marvel at the blue wrens that would gather by the statue. It was wonderful. What I'd give to go back to that time.
You still believe in him? Don't you worry that he isn't watching out for you anymore?
Oh, I'm too old to be worrying about something like that. Even if his gaze is turned elsewhere, I know that he's out there somewhere, doing good. My children and grandchildren don't believe in Varys, and my wife died, must be 10 years ago now. But I still come here every Sunday and pray. It reminds me of those happy times. You seem like you're a little lost, and, you know, that's all right. Sometimes you have to lose yourself before you can find yourself, after all. Anyway, I'll be moving on. About time I got supper on.
The man nodded at Varys and left, returning back to his home. The area in front of the statue was suddenly quiet. Raen finally came out of his hiding place and approached Varys. He's crying! Oh, baby, he's crying. Only as he came closer did he begin to hear what started as muffled sobs and quickly became flooding tears. He collapsed to his knees, staring up at the statue.
He's the first one I've met in over a century. A real believer. I've never heard his prayers. Not a single one. I'm not a real god anymore. I'm just nothing. Even to people like them. To that old man and his wife, who had so much faith in me. I couldn't help them. I couldn't protect them. Why? Why must I exist? How could I possibly overcome this pain?
Why does he seem so heartbroken? Is he actually...
Do you take his belief in you for nothing?
He whipped around, eyes fixated on Ilan, even if he couldn't see.
What?
He's putting all of his belief into you, not anyone else. And this is how you're repaying him?
What else am I meant to do? I'm powerless to do anything. You wouldn't understand. There's no point in trying anymore.
I don't know what you're going through. That's true. But there is something I do know. Achieving your goals is never impossible unless you want it to be. You can find your purpose.
At that moment, Varys looked more vulnerable than ever, but something changed. It was as if a weight had been lifted off his shoulders, just from being told something so simple.
You're right. There is something I can do.
He stood and wiped his tears with a look of determination.
Where are you heading?
I don't wish to fight you anymore. Please.
I'm not looking for a fight. I asked where you were going.
Within his eyes, a fire was now lit. I want to help him regain what he's lost. Maybe in the meantime, I'll also be able to learn a thing or two.
I'm going to save my people and become a god once again.
That sounds like a difficult task.
I don't know where to start, honestly.
Perhaps you could use someone with a knack for solving problems then.
You may be right. I'll have to ask around.
So, you can turn into a bird.
I can?
I'll help you on 2 conditions.
What would they be?
1, you tell me the truth about the gods. And 2, you help me with my bounty hunting.
My journey may be long. It may even be never-ending.
Well, I have a lot of spare time on my hands anyway. I could use something fun to do. Plus, I've been looking for a bounty hunting partner.
Use his little bird form to scout. And just like that, we went from enemies to companions. It's kind of embarrassing remembering how I acted back then. I was so ignorant, so cocky. As we traveled together, inching closer and closer to finding Aurelia Cavella, we found that we got along well. More so than anyone else I ever met, despite our differing personalities. He was both kind and funny, self-sacrificing and good-natured. Before I realized it, we were already inseparable. Or that's what I thought.
Ilan?
Yeah, of course. If that's what you want, then I'll help you achieve that.
For 7 years we've been together. To think that could be taken away so suddenly. Faced with the uncomfortable future, Elran had one thing on his mind. One thing he strained to bury but kept resurfacing. I love him. Oh. Oh, that's sad. Maybe he'll change his mind after a little bit and he won't leave him. Empty dreams once again. Where are you? Where did you go? I blinked my sleepy eyes open and was greeted by the beautiful room that Zarin had booked for me. I don't think I'll ever get used to such luxury. New clothes, a fancy bed, the ball, so many new things. And Fawn. The heat rose to my cheeks and my head fell into my hands. Why did I do that? Why would I think he was leaning in for a kiss? I'm so stupid. No, wait. Why didn't I do that sooner? This warmness in my chest, this fondness I have for Fawn, it's not new, is it? It's been there nearly since we first met. I have to tell him as soon as I can, but I don't know if I can even face him right now. I jumped out of bed and quickly dressed, thinking about the kiss, the softness of his lips against mine. No, don't think about it now. First things first, I need to tell Leos and Zarin about what happened last night. Not about the kiss, about Hone, and about Caspian. Hopefully they'll already be downstairs. My eyes found their way to the open window. It was still bright. Birds chirped and danced around the window sill. Must already be late in the morning. But in but a moment, I was already out the door and on my way towards the reception area.
Oh, bite me. Can you go back to being all sad and stuff already? I've had enough of you.
I think he would happily bite you, okay?
Oh, bite you? Oh, with pleasure.
Called it! Called it!
That's not the bit I wanted you to take out of that sentence.
Here I come!
Hey, stay back!
Too late. What a tasty snack you are.
When I arrived, Zarin was already busy harassing Leos, no different to usual. He basically climbed up him and was nipping at his skin lightly while Leos tried to fight him off.
Good morning. You two sure are lively.
Raen, you have to help me, please. I'll do anything. Just get rid of the pipsqueak.
Anything?
Oh no, Rain's in on it now.
Anything.
Could be useful later.
Zarin, come here.
In a moment, he jumped down and made his way to me.
Yes, Raen. Did you miss me? Couldn't stand being away for even a moment longer? You can tell me the truth. You're bored of Fawn already, right?
What? No, not at all.
Boo. Well, you know where I am when it happens.
I'm going to choose to ignore that. Anyway, have you seen Fawn around?
I knocked on his door earlier, but he didn't want to come out for some reason.
Did he say why?
He said he wasn't feeling well. Then it changed to him being tired, and then he mumbled that he'd be out soon. So he's embarrassed about something. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Raen?
More importantly, did you learn anything last night?
I nodded and both their faces went serious.
Nearly everyone chose to blatantly ignore our existence, but I managed to speak to someone. Hone. He was a chef or a baker or something. We didn't get much of a chance to chat since he was working, but he says he knows Caspian, and he can lead us to him. He told us to meet him at his bakery today. Oh, and we also ran into Ilan. He says he has news to share about Soren, so he'll also turn up at some point.
Good morning.
Fawn appeared, looking like a ball of nerves. His eyes darted from the group to the ground, and he was red up to the tip of his ears. Taking one look at this, Zarin's face suddenly lit up with a grin.
Leos, I know you've really, really enjoyed all the one-on-one time we've gotten lately.
I don't like where this is going.
So, how about it? You, me, a romantic stroll through the snow. Doesn't it sound wonderful?
We're not bored of Fawn. Wait for your route sign. He's a very impatient. He doesn't want to wait for his route.
And at the end, you can lean down to brush some snow out of my hair, and I can mistake that for...
How did he know? How did he know?
Hey!
Oh, not a chance.
That was exactly what happened.
You're no fun. Oh well, I know you'll play along. You're just embarrassed, right?
What? Why bother asking then?
Come on, I have some manners. Quick, let's go already.
You're not going to come see Hone?
We'll leave it to you.
Huh?
Once again, we were greeted with a sight of Zarin dragging Leos away as he fought and struggled to free himself. They saw. I don't know if, well, at least Zarin saw. Oh no. They did. What if they both saw? Oh no. Zarin turned back and winked at us before going out the front door. Stay strong, Leos.
So, did you sleep well?
I did.
I see.
The awkward silence stretched on, neither of us knowing when it would end. After a few nervous glances, Fawn suddenly sighed.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
To go to Hone's Bakery, yeah. I let Zarin and Leos know what happened last night, so they're all caught up. It's a shame they're not coming too.
I scratched the back of my head and Fawn nodded slowly. A moment later, we left through the front door and were met with a cold winter landscape. Outside was the same as every other day, a snow-filled paradise. Children had already begun hurling snowballs at each other, oblivious to their surroundings. Fawn and I ducked and dodged, barely escaping with our lives.
They're having so much fun.
Fawn looked at me from the corner of his eyes, curiosity passing over his face.
I mentioned them before, didn't I? There were a lot of kids in my orphanage, but two were really special to me. Tobias and Mia. I think it might be a little different here, but at home if you grew up in an orphanage, that's where you're staying. Adoption is really ever a thing.
Why wouldn't they be adopted?
Well, why take on a kid with a second-rate judgment? That's pretty much why they're all there. Abandoned shortly after they were born. Once their parents learned that they wouldn't be good for anything. Not that I agree, of course.
That sucks.
That's what it was like with Mia. She was brought in just a few weeks old, when I was 9. She was so small, so fragile. I always thought of her as my little sister. Tobias, he was a rare case. He came in when he was 4, after his mother went missing. Never found her either. Those two are inseparable. The best of friends, and my precious family. I wish I could show them this. They could play in the snow. I wish they could build sandcastles on the beach.
I wish they could too.
Will you be there?
I'm not that good with kids, you know. I've barely gotten my own life together.
We could do it together. You, me, the kids.
Oh my gosh, are you now? It now sounds like he wants to be with Fawn and adopt the kids so they have a family. Right. You went from kiss straight to well, we're gonna get married and adopt kids. It's adorable, though. I mean, Leos is good at pretending he didn't see anything. True, true. I forgot Rain was an orphan. There's so many I lost count. Yeah, I kind of forgot it for a minute, too.
You make it sound as if...
He'd make a good dad, I'm sure of it.
Look.
I pointed up ahead where a building laid off to the side. A sign read Hone's Bakery, swinging in the wind. Rain moves quick. He does. He moves lickety-split. A group left the store carrying paper bags overflowing with bread and pastries. They giggled and chattered excitedly.
This must be it. Shall we? It's still early, but better waiting in there than out here.
I held open the door and entered after Fawn. We were greeted with the smell of freshly baked bread, making our mouths water. The bakery was mostly empty except for one customer who stood by the counter, waiting for his food to be bagged. He had a small frame and white hair with pink tips. His clothing was fancy as to be expected and had a beautiful flower pattern. Behind the counter, Hone finished with the customer's food and he turned around to leave. His eyes met mine, but neither of us said a word. Big red eyes, wide and innocent, in contrast to the mask that took up most of his face, dark and imposing.
Rain, Fawn! You're here earlier than I thought you would be.
That was really descriptive for somebody. Who are they?
I'm sorry. I hope we're not causing too much trouble.
Not at all. Please, sit down. Did you find me easily?
We didn't have any trouble.
We all sat down at one of the tables, Hone sitting across from the two of us. We exchanged pleasantries and chatted lightly for a moment before turning to the matter at hand.
So, you really know Caspian?
He nodded, a slight smile on his face.
He's been a regular of mine for years. The tall one with the brown hair, right? I'm not surprised you're asking about him. Are you after some of his woodwork?
His what?
He's a skilled carpenter, and he owns a small store not that far from here.
Dude, really? The Prince of Aurelia Cavella, a simple carpenter? Is this really the right guy?
Can you point us in the right direction? Finding him is really important to us. Like you said, we have a need for his talents.
So you're gonna give those fine descriptions, but no sprite. I feel robbed. Same! I really thought we were about to get a sprite with how detailed they were.
I can, no problem.
Oh, the gang's all here. Look at the pretty boys. Oh gosh, look at him. He's like a sexy pirate. I love him. He's so pretty. These pink-haired boys are coming for me, guys. They're coming for me. Suddenly, the front door swung open and 3 people stepped in. 2 I knew well, and 1 I never seen before with long pink hair.
Varys, Ilan! It's great to see you guys again. And this is?
They sat down around the table, and Hone quickly stood up and flipped the sign on the door to show they were closed.
Well, I think I'm needed in the kitchen for a moment. I'll fill you in with the details later, Rain.
He waved to the unknown man, who simply nodded. They obviously already knew each other.
Let me introduce you to a good friend of mine. I like to call him Zarin.
That's my name, you fool.
Well, yeah, that's why I like to call you it. Makes sense when you think about it.
Rain, I take it. And you are?
My name is Fawn.
Ah, so you're Fawn. Good. Thank you for meeting with me on such short notice. I suppose some introduction will be necessary. First and foremost, I'm the royal physician to His Highness, the Lord of Sidcaeum. But this position allows me certain freedoms.
Oh, he's a royal physician! Huh. Tops that look like bottoms are my weaknesses, and look at him serving that chest. He is! He's so freaking gorgeous.
Freedoms to research to my heart's content. I spend most of my time attending to scholarly duties, and I consider myself an expert in theology and demonology. Of course, this is heavily frowned upon, so I expect this to be kept between us.
Certainly. I don't intend to tell anyone.
Theology? Demonology? Huh?
Zarin here has been researching demons and gods for a very long time, so we couldn't think of a single other person who may be able to help Nox and Soren more.
Zarin is a royal physician of Sidkaham, and his title grants him quite a few luxuries, one of which being that the others turn a blind eye as he studies things which may otherwise get him in trouble, theology and demonology. He's taking care of Soren for the meantime. Ooh, do we get to go to his house? That definitely looks like an inside of a house. Like there's a library. Nice. Maybe that's a library? It looks like a different room. Nice fireplace.
Quite. Normally, I wouldn't agree to something like this, but unfortunately, due to my acquaintanceship with a certain someone, I had little choice.
Ilan grinned, leaning back in his chair with his arms crossed over his chest.
How's he doing? Has he woken up yet?
No, not yet. He's stable, but asleep. I've only begun preliminary testing, but nothing is out of the ordinary. Vitals are within healthy ranges, breathing is normal. He has no internal injuries, he's just stuck in a slumber. Could I awaken him? Possibly, but I won't try until I can find a way to separate the demon from him. I don't want to get your hopes up. I've never seen anything like them, two beings so closely melded together at the seams. Even if I can separate them, will they ever be the same? I don't know. Not yet. However, all is not lost. I'm just not in the habit of pretending everything will work out when there's obvious risks. I have Soren in my lab, and I'll keep him there until I can ascertain the nature of their joining and find a way to separate their souls. I don't know how long it will take. I couldn't give you an estimate even if I wanted to, but they're both safe with me.
I can't thank you enough. I might not have known Soren for that long, but I wanted to save him. Turns out that wanting to save someone doesn't mean you can. So I'm entrusting him to you.
You know a lot about demons?
I'd say that a lot is rather subjective, but I feel confident in the subject matter, yes.
How would you know if you met one? Would they even know?
Are you asking if it's possible for someone to unknowingly be a demon?
Zarin was silent for a moment, deep in thought.
It's not impossible, I suppose. Demons with human hosts or bodies are susceptible to a lot of the same ailments as humans, depending on their level of power. Memory loss is unlikely, but entirely possible.
Those are particularly pointed questions. What is he getting at? Before I could ask any other questions, the door suddenly swung open. I wonder if Fawn kind of thinks he himself is a demon, because, you know, we have a theory about him setting fires or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing Mannequin Academy. The pink-haired guy is reminding me of Julian. I could get those vibes. Julian's a bit more neutral, I think. Is Fawn a fire demon? Yeah, really. I mean, it would make sense. It would make freaking sense because he has the thing with fire. I remember when he got upset in the forest, not in the forest, but yeah, you know, in the demon forest or whatever, and the fire was reacting when he was yelling. There's definitely something going on. Before I could ask any further questions, the door suddenly swung open. Another person stepped in. It was the young man from before.
Master, are you here?
There he is! Oh, he's a little cutie! Oh, look at like the flower pattern around his waist. Oh, he's a cutie! He ain't neutral with Noah. No, he isn't. Looks like a little samurai, little ninja. His eyes scanned the crowd at the table, and at seeing Zarin, he hurried to his side. Not long after, he noticed Ilan. He jumped back as if he was a cat hissing at a dog.
You, what are you doing here? I told you to leave my master alone!
Oh, look, it's the brat. What was your name again? Tight ass? Can't even spend a few moments away from your precious Zarin.
Why, you?
Titus, at ease. You know that I'm helping them with something at the moment.
Titus is ready to throw hands.
Why him of all people? He's so rude and disrespectful to you. He's just a troublemaker.
Don't compliment me too much. It'll go to my head.
Ilan, Titus, let's calm down for a moment. We were just discussing Soren. You're helping to monitor him too, aren't you?
He smiled at Titus, who seemed to instantly relax. So a fan of Varus, but not of Elrond. Not difficult to imagine why.
That's right. He's a weird case, you know.
I know.
Allow me to make an introduction, since my dear nephew has decided to cast aside his manners. This is my assistant, Titus. He'll be watching over Soren and making sure to keep him healthy while I do my research.
Titus is Zarin's nephew and assistant. He seems to be a skilled alchemist and historian, amongst many other talents. He is very attached to his uncle.
You can call me Raen.
Fawn.
Fawn didn't seem too interested in the introductions anymore.
Now, if we're done with talking about Soren for the moment, I'd instead speak of something else. Raen.
Me?
I've heard a little about you from Ilan. I won't repeat the legends since I'm sure you've heard them 1,000 times before, but there hasn't been someone like you in this city for a very long time.
I'll call him titties for short. Tits for short. Oh no. Yeah, definitely Attack on Titan. Eren versus the guy showering over him? Or do you mean towering over him? He is little. He is little and he has quite an anger. Quite a big anger. He's a little chihuahua. I didn't pay attention to this. I heard a little about you from Elrond. I won't repeat the legends since I'm sure you've heard them 1,000 times before. But there hasn't been someone like you in the city for a very long time.
A strange curse from a city thought to be a myth. A connection to the speaker himself. It's as if you were from a fairy tale. There's not a single person in this city who wouldn't climb over others' dead bodies to take you for themselves. You're a mystery, a hidden ace, a checkmate. You have to be careful.
I won't let anyone hurt him. I'll protect him.
Oh, our knight in shining armor. Zarin nodded, content with Fawn's answer.
You have a stout heart. I hope that it'll carry you both through your journey and still remain in the end.
Well, I've done my part. I'd say I'm free of any obligation to stick around, right?
We'll take our leave for now. Raen, we'll come find you again soon. Even though we finished with our end of the bargain and delivered Soren to safety, there's still more for the two of us to discuss. But that's for a later time. There's a dark cloud over Sidcaeum, but I don't know what it means. Keep safe and be on the lookout, always. Now isn't the time to easily trust anyone.
Before they could leave, Titus pulled Varus to the side, and they talked quietly for a few moments. Titus passed him a slip of paper and then let him go.
I have something to speak about with Hone. Can you take over briefly?
He looked towards Titus, who nodded proudly. Zarin stood from our table and entered the back room where Hone had gone, as if only natural.
So, Raen and, Fawn? That's a strange name, but, no matter. You're really from Aurelia Cavella?
I am. It's deep in the forest near Stagwitch.
Near Stagwitch? That's further away than I would have expected. What an amazing discovery. How I'd love to see the town for myself. How does a civilization grow closed off completely from the outside? Surely you do things very differently to us. I need to write this all down.
He pulled out a notebook and started furiously writing, recording every word I said. Just like Zarin, he must consider himself something of an academic. He's a historian. He's like so so interested in getting these facts.
What about you? Have you always lived in Sidkaya?
He reached up and touched his mask, remaining silent.
No, but nothing remains in my home to go back to. It was burnt to the ground, along with a handful of other houses.
Oh, does he have a burn on his face and that's why he has that? Titus' hometown was burnt down when he was younger, which is how he came to live with Zarin and Sidkam. What if he's from the same town Fawn's from?
People still live there, but the thing that made it my home is gone.
Yeah, anything to do with fire, I'm immediately like, Fawn? I don't know when it happened, but I noticed Fawn was gripping the back of my shirt tightly. Yes, it has to do with Fawn.
Oh, I need to ask where you're staying. I'll come find you in my master's place if we learn anything new about Soren.
The Silver Willows. It's not that far from here.
Nice. Got it.
He continued scribbling in his journal, making notes I almost felt like I was being interrogated.
If you wouldn't mind, may I take a look at your markings?
Like, we shouldn't... I don't know. Like, should we? I mean, we shouldn't show our markings in public. We're gonna get caught and in trouble. But the door's locked right now. So no one else can come in, and we're in a spot, so maybe he can look it over. Rather not. What do you guys think? I don't see why not. We'd be showing him that and he can research it. Maybe if he has the stuff he could find answers to it. And he's with Zarin, who's taking care of something for us, so he could be trusted, right? Right? Just show him we're looking for Caspian. Yeah, we are looking for Caspian. I don't know. Yeah, we can show him. It makes me wonder, though.
I don't see why not. Here.
I rolled my sleeve up, and Titus quickly took my arm and examined the markings. He traced them a few times with his finger, then picked up his notebook, back up, and began sketching.
I'm an alchemist and a healer by trade, but I can't help but be interested in most history and mythology. By the looks of it, these runes are probably hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Both culturally and linguistically, this text is something significant. I've seen similar markings in tomes and scrolls, but never any translations. Perhaps... no, maybe not. Unless...
He mumbled to himself, lost in his own thoughts. I don't think I'll get anything too useful out of him. Okapi Flower, hello! Welcome in. Fawn, it's so cute that I will be his swordsman with a white horse and shining armor. Yes! Yes, it is adorable. How are you doing today? He mumbled to himself, lost in thought. I don't think I'll get anything useful out of him. He's in his own world. He's thinking about things.
So, if I heard correctly, you're not just here to deliver Soren, are you?
I'm looking for someone very important to me. Someone that may hold answers to questions that I need to solve.
I see. Yours is quite an epic tale, isn't it? Filled with excitement and despair, curses and demons, myth and legend. I'm excited to see how the story ends. In fact, I have an offer to make you.
Uh-oh.
Just like my wonderful and perfect master, I've taken somewhat of an interest in history. You know,
So much goes unrecorded and forgotten, and I'm going to do what I can to combat that.
Wonderful and perfect master.
I suppose my interest more lies in the recording of present-day activities that will go down in history.
What are you asking?
Let me tell your story one day.
My story? Of all the people that were in this room a moment ago, I think I'm probably the least interesting.
No, buddy, you are very interesting. Dude.
Agree to disagree then. Think on it.
I looked towards Fawn, but he just shrugged.
I, wouldn't mind that. Actually, I'll agree if I can ask you a few questions.
Shoot, I'm an open book.
Ooh, yay, we get questions. Do you know Ilan? Are you and Varys friends? What's the relationship between Zarin and home? You mentioned your home. Oh god, I want to know that one. But let's work up to it. That one's gonna get an angry response. Are you and Varys friends? I wonder. Does he know Varys is a god? I guess I shouldn't mention it, just in case.
Do you know much about Varys? You two seem to get along.
At my question, he perked up a little.
Varys is what I aspire to be. He's such a forward thinker, always on the foreground of the healing arts. He comes up with methods I would never even dream of.
He'd been around a bit longer.
I sometimes wonder how he's accumulated so much knowledge. I'd have to live 10 of my lives just to know as much as he does.
Yeah. They don't know, then I'll keep it quiet.
Huh. I didn't realize he considered himself a healer.
Yeah. Oh, Zarin doesn't know either he's a god. Remember, he's like, you left your bird here. They don't know.
I was still young when we met, around 10 years ago. It was just after I moved to Sidcaeum and Master took me in.
I shipped him before I learned they had blood relations. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, if they weren't nephew and uncle, I would ship them too. Because he really, like, looks up to him. But, you know, we can just see it as a, like, he just really looks up to his uncle.
We only happened to bump into each other. Purely luck. I was feeling disillusioned, lost. I wondered if I'd ever be able to live up to my master's expectations, become half the man he is.
10 years ago, same as Fawn. It was really 10 years ago?
I could barely whip up a basic tonic or salve. I thought about running away and giving up. And that's when he found me, sitting alone in the streets. When I told him, he pointed out what I was doing wrong. They were such obvious mistakes. It's embarrassing, but I'll never be able to thank him enough. I wouldn't be here now without his guidance.
Was he much different then?
Before... Yeah, I remember. He's always been friendly and kind. I'd even go as far as to call him selfless. But... it was like he had these invisible walls all around him. Both to keep people out and to stop him from growing too attached to anyone.
I thought back on the Varys I knew. Such a warm, comfortable person.
His smile reaches his eyes now. As much as it pains me to say it, I think the change came from Ilan.
Those two are inseparable.
Won't that just make it hurt all the more when they're forced apart?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Do you know Elrond?
So, you and Ilan.
Even his name disgusts me.
You don't really get along.
Who could? He's lucky that Varys stays with him, honestly. I don't know how he does it.
Did something happen between you two?
Yeah, please. Spill the tea. I want to know.
Not to me, but to my master. You know why we're helping him and risking our lives in the first place beyond curiosity? It's pretty much blackmail.
Blackmail? What did he do?
Blackmail? Sounds just like Ilan, yeah.
I looked on in interest, and Titus continued with the story.
That's what he does. Digs up information that should be left buried and uses it to his advantage. It happened a few years ago. He just turned up on our doorstep, pushed his way through the door, and made himself at home.
Really? He just literally just showed up like, hey, yo. It's like a cat. It's like a stray cat, honestly. Because if a stray cat finds you and they're like, oh, this looks like a nice place, they live there now. I'm sorry, but they live there now.
I had a mind to call the guards and have him arrested, but Master wanted to hear what he had to say first. You should have seen his face. It went as white as a sheet, and I was ordered to leave the room.
What did he say to him?
I have no clue. No one will tell me. But ever since then, he can just waltz in whenever he wants and demand anything. If it were up to me, I'd just chuck him out anyway. Who cares if a secret or two gets out?
Oh, so he has a secret on Zarin. Waltz in. Ilan has some dirt on Zarin that forces him to play nice despite disliking the green-haired man. What if it's the dirt on the demonology and the theology? So he probably, maybe he's like threatening to tell people about it to get him in trouble. Yeah, that's definitely Ilan. What's the relationship between Zarin and Hone?
Hone was quick to close the store when Zarin came in. Does this happen often?
Often might be a little too much, but every now and then. Despite their appearances, they've actually been friends for more years than I can count.
Huh. That does seem to be an unlikely friendship.
I keep telling him that his chances at making it anything other than a friendship are getting slimmer and slimmer. But he just waves me away. Easily embarrassed, you see.
Oh, do they have a relationship? Oh, does Hone and Zarin have a possible relationship? Titus sees it. He's like, dude, you're missing your chance.
Oh. It's like that, is it?
He says it's not, but I'm not blind.
Did he give Ilan head in the past? And he has pictured? Maybe. I mean, it's everything can be speculated at this point. We have no idea.
You mentioned your home, right? Where was that?
Titus looked down and mumbled something about a fire that burnt down his town.
I'm sorry to hear that. How did it happen?
I was only young, but they say that a demon burnt it down as punishment. A lot of people died. I wasn't there in the aftermath, though. I was brought to Sidcam.
Gods. I'm sure that whatever lit the fire got what was coming to them.
Oh no, don't say that, Raen. I have a theory it was Fawn. Like, Fawn accidentally set the fire.
I couldn't hope for anything else.
Before I could ask anything else, the door to the kitchen swung open and both Hone and Zarin appeared.
Master!
Fawn leaned in close and whispered into my ear.
We should ask about Caspian before we have any more interruptions.
I felt my breath catch in my throat. Our faces were only inches apart. Look at the blush. When he noticed the same thing, he sprung back.
You're right. Hone, can we talk some more about Caspian?
Yes, spill the tea.
Oh, sorry. I've kept you waiting, haven't I?
Yes, you
When
have.
will we be able to find him?
They had to go have a makeout session in the back, okay? Please, give us our info.
It's not far from here. If you go up the steps to the west, then continue down the road a while, you'll find it easily. It's called Eclipse.
It's a pretty name for a carpentry workshop.
He won't talk about the name either. He clams up if you ask about it. My guess is it's dedicated to a lost lover or something.
I went over the directions in my head, making sure to dedicate them to memory. The steps to the west, then followed the road. Okay, I just had a theory. Probably not true. But what if Caspian and the speaker had a relationship in the past.
He's finally so close. I can't believe it.
I know you're after something more than his furniture making skills. I hope he'll be able to tell you what you're looking for. I think he'll be excited to meet you.
Huh?
He flipped the sign over and the store was once again open for business.
Now that the annoying one is gone, would you two like to visit Soren?
Now that the annoying one is gone.
We can?
I have no problem with it. I'd rather you be able to trust me with him completely. Titus, let's go.
But we want to go see the carpentry shop.
Bye, Hone. Thanks again for the bread earlier.
Enjoy. Zarin, I put in a little extra for you too.
Thank you.
A simple nod and they were out the door. Wasn't that already implied that he told Rain he looked like his dad? And did you see his face when he said it? The man blushed? No, I don't remember that. I remember him say he looked like his dad. The walk to Zarin's study was brisk and quiet, with only a few words passed between the four of us. Why are we going to Zarin's first? Let's go to the carpentry place. I mean, yeah, I don't mind checking out Zarin's place, but I thought you were like so eager to go meet Caspian. It was only a short distance away. It blended in with the buildings around it, giving no hint at what it contained. No one would have been able to guess that it held a demon. Titus unlocked the door and held it open for us. We were greeted with a sign of Zarin's research lab.
Wow.
Come, make yourself at home whilst I light the fire.
Let me.
Titus scrambled around, filling the empty fireplace with logs and quickly lighting them. The room filled with warmth and the smell of pine.
Where's Soren?
Just through that door. When you finish checking on him, come make yourself comfortable. I have a mind to chat for a bit.
Fawn and I opened the door and were met with a cool breeze. Soren laid on a small bed, eyes still closed. His chest rose and fell with every breath, as if he were simply sleeping. He was just as we left him. I felt myself sigh with relief. Sure, the problem hasn't been solved yet, but he's okay. I can trust these two to take care of him. Don't you worry, Soren. I'll be waiting here for you when you get back.
He looks well. I think they'll be able to help him.
This is literally filler to make it think we're going to Caspian's house and actually going to find him now.
If anyone can, it's them.
We found our way back to the sofa and warmed ourselves by the fireplace, content with this. Zarin finally spoke again.
Do you think the world abandoned by its gods?
Oh, we diving straight into the deep stuff. Okay. Do I think the world has been abandoned?
I don't know what to believe in anymore. You can't blame them for being locked up in a place they can't leave.
I used to believe we'd been abandoned. I thought that any god let all these bad things happen wasn't a god I wanted to believe in anyway. But my mind's been changed, I think. If anything, I feel sorry for them. I can't blame them either.
He smiled knowingly, as if his suspicion had been confirmed.
You know more than you let on, it seems. Yes, you can't blame them. But what about the others?
The others?
Like Nox. Ones that took mortal bodies.
Nox. Rather than him abandoning us, who betrayed him, it's hard to blame someone who went through such torture. And then we have Varys. He hasn't given up on us. I'm sure there are more like him too.
No, I don't believe they have. Even ones like Nox. He only ended up that way because of us.
Honestly, I could never put this much effort into saving discount vampire Sebastian. He doesn't even look like he has a route. Rain's a good boy, though. He wants to help people.
Interesting. Purely from a factual basis, I'd have to disagree with you, but I find myself compelled to believe you instead. Perhaps, somewhere out there, there's still someone looking out for us. This is only between us, but I've been led to believe that hidden in the mountains around Sidcaeum lies a village disconnected from humanity, where stray gods go to live out their existence, away from the quarrels of men.
He stood from his chair and glided across the room where a bookcase reached up to the ceiling. He pulled a book from the shelf and handed it to Titus, who stood faithfully by his side.
I stumbled upon this notebook, an original account of the famed cartographer Sylvia.
Sylvia?
She traveled from Toggen, the land across the seas, all the way here to Vidis, to do what she did best, map-making. None of the journal is in a language I can read. Luckily, I have with me a very skilled interpreter and linguist.
You two really can do anything.
As can anyone, if they put their mind to it. Regardless, the tales of Sylvia aren't too exciting for the most part. They're what you'd expect from someone that travels the land. Except for one entry. She was hiking around the mountains of Sidcaeum, but she collapsed in the snow. Traveling alone, she thought that that would be the end for her. When she woke up, she was in an unknown village, being tended to. She asked again and again where she was, but no one would answer her. Her writing became a little jumbled, and text that once stood out as clear as day has faded away. But a single name jumped out. Elliot.
Elliot? Elliot the Godslayer?
Perhaps, but the times don't seem to match up. Elliot Fearon died in the Aurelian War, fighting against the Speaker and his followers. Sylvia didn't arrive until much after that. Either way, eventually she leaves. Blindfolded, I should note. They made sure she wouldn't be able to find her way back there. Once they set her free, she says that she could feel someone watching her as she descended down the mountain. When she turned back, she could see yellow eyes watching her from the tree line.
So, you think this is that village?
He nodded before eventually shrugging.
It's a possibility.
Place like that very well could exist, but why wouldn't Varys choose to go there then?
I feel like I've kept you too long. You've been on a lengthy journey, and you can finally see the end in sight. Don't let me stop you.
Thank you. Fawn, come on. Take care of Soren for me.
He smiled, and Titus showed us to the door. A goodbye later, and we were back in the streets of Sidcaeum. Oh, that was just a short little detour. As we stepped into the cold, I finally noticed that my hands were shaking. This is it. Caspian.
If Hone's directions are right, we don't have far to go. Come on, I can't wait any longer.
Wait.
Huh?
Can we speak for a moment first? I promise it won't take long.
Of course. What is it?
It's about last night.
This time, Fawn was the one looking straight to my face, while I was the one looking away in embarrassment. Okay, I gotta tell him, no misunderstandings.
Fawn. About that, the truth is, Fawn?
He sped away, eyes locked on something as if his life depended on it. My words hung in the air, ignored, and pushed aside. I turned around to see what exactly demanded his attention at that exact moment.
Huh?
Who? I chased after him just in time to see him grab a blue-haired girl. She spun around, shock written on her face. I stopped dead in my tracks. She looks just like...
Auden?
Meet someone that looks very similar to Fawn. Annie?
Annie, is it really you?
Aiden? His real name's Aiden? The expression on her face changed so fast I could barely tell what she was feeling. Confusion to sadness to anger then to nothing.
Where have you been all this time? It's been so long.
Just around, you know.
Around? How can you simply be around for 10 years?
Fawn? Who is this?
Fawn?
That's what I go by now. Raen, this is... Annie, my sister.
Ah!
Your sister? I mean, it's lovely to meet you.
She looked nearly identical to Fawn. Long blue hair, a soft face. Are they twins?
Auden, I've missed you so much. We all have. There hasn't been a single day where we haven't thought about you. All of our sisters still live at home in Cliffspire. They'll be ecstatic to see you. You must come home. You just must.
All of our sisters? How many sisters do you have, child? This was me giving an excuse to where I was when I broke curfew. Yeah, I've been around. Cliffspire.
Really? I thought you...
My little brother. I couldn't ever stay angry at you.
Okay, little brother. She clasped his hands in hers and pulled him into an embrace. His smile was real and raw, filled with happiness and something else, a subtle sorrow.
Will you come see me again? I have to go home soon, but I'll still be here tomorrow. Please?
Girl, drop an address so he can find you.
Of course I will.
Her eyes locked with mine. I stood on the sidelines awkwardly, excluded.
Alone. I want time to keep you to myself.
Ooh. She's like, no, don't bring the extra.
If that's what you want, then okay.
It's a date then. I have to run now, but I'll be counting down the moments until I can see you again.
She turned to leave, but not before glancing my way again. She looked at me with contempt in her eyes, and then she was gone.
So...
I suppose you want an explanation?
Yes?
My sister. One of them. I have 7 older sisters at home in Cliffspire.
7? Holy crap, are you the only boy? Fawns lived alone in the forest for some time, and the first person... Alright, doesn't say anything about his sisters, but holy crap, he has 7 sisters. Annie is one of Fawn's sisters that we ran into in Sikahim. She seemed to be pleased to see him. She calls him Aiden. I wonder if all of them have like A names.
7. That's quite a few. Why didn't you tell me about them?
His mouth twitched and his brows knitted.
It's complicated. I had to leave 10 years ago, and I thought they'd never want to see me again, but...
Literally me, but I'm the only girl and the oldest. Oh, you have a lot of brothers?
They do. I can't believe it. I feel like I could cry.
I'm happy for you, really. It's a little late to see Caspian now, isn't it? Let's head back and go see him tomorrow.
Aww.
I'm sorry. It's my fault.
No, Fawn. It's okay, baby.
No, not at all. That was important to you.
Our conversation burnt out as we remembered what we were about to talk about. Instead of addressing the matter, we started on our way back to our rooms.
Nice night, huh?
Yeah.
I spent the entire walk thinking up ways I could tell him how I felt. But before I could act, we were already standing in front of the Silver Willows. Fawn reached out to open the door, but I grabbed his hand and pulled him back. His hands were small and soft, fitting into mine as if they were made for each other. It reminded me of how we walked through the streets of Oxford hand in hand before we bumped into Soren. This felt different.
Fawn, I have to be honest with you. I don't want this awkwardness to continue between us. You're too important to me. I've been thinking hard. Probably harder than I ever have before. I'm still so confused. But I'm sure of one thing. You. I've always been sure of you. Fawn, I think I'm in love with you. It's not a new thing. I think this feeling has always been inside me. And I've only just realized it.
What?
His answer was quiet, hushed.
You mean everything to me. When I think about everything I've gone through, I would do it all again if it meant that I got to meet you.
Oh. I met his eyes with a newfound confidence. It was the truth. He feels like the one. The one I could see myself spending the rest of my life with. No, that's not right. It's not just that. When I think of my future, he's there too.
You're wonderful, handsome and cute, smart and wise. More than I deserve, but... What do you say?
I need some time to collect my thoughts.
Oh.
Is that okay?
Oh. Of course.
He pulled his hands back, his face clouded over. We stood like this for a moment, facing each other before Fawn raised his voice again.
I'm a little tired. So, I think I'll go ahead.
What was that reaction? He normally reacts like much more sharply, like more, you know, blush and strongly when it comes to matters like this. And he's just like, I gotta think about it. Is it because...
Good night, Fawn.
Well, almost just a rejection. Then I was alone. It's probably for the best. If he needs time, then I'll give it to him. Bedtime, I think. I blame the sister. I mean, maybe that's on his mind at the moment, but... Oh. I followed the same path as Fawn back to my room. It felt empty without him. I quickly undressed and fell into bed. All I wished was for sleep, but my mind wouldn't let me. If I chose my words better, would I still be alone right now? And thus started my sleepless night. I feel like this is the perfect spot to stop. Blue-haired boy set in the snow. Oh, does Fawn go back outside? Would be a perfect place to stop for now. Because if I keep going, we're going to be doing this for a few hours. And we've already been going for 2 hours now. Oh, dear. Okay, quick save. Oh. What's going on, Fawn? Goodness. Okay. He did get his feelings out there, though. A lot happened in this episode, actually. Like, he got his feelings out there. He confessed to Fawn. Fawn... I don't know what's up. Like, maybe it is that he's distracted by, you know, running into his family. Because we were about to talk about the kiss right before she showed up. She really doesn't like us. She doesn't like us at all. So, you're gonna do me like that. We've been streaming for 2 hours. When I stream for longer, you guys are like, no, it's too long. I would honestly just keep going, but like, yeah. What happened? Okay, maybe we'll finally meet Caspian next episode, but we're not gonna know what goes on between Fawn and, his sister because he doesn't want Raen to go with him. Or she doesn't want Raen to go with them, so what's that gonna be about? Okay, well, we're going to pick up this, yeah, 4 hours. 3 is fine. Oh, well, you voting on me going another hour? 4 hours is too long, but 3 is fine. Oh, it's tempting. We can just tell them. Would Raen do that, though? Would Raen really tell them? That is the question. Like, he's supposed to meet her tomorrow, so he's probably just sitting outside thinking about things. Alright, alright. We can see what happens in the scene, and then we'll probably stop for the day. A blue-haired boy sat in the snow, kicking his legs aimlessly. He already tried to sleep, but it was completely pointless. For a time, he sat in his room, trying not to think, but he found that there's only so much time you can avoid thinking. Thoughts always come back to you, nagging at the corner of your mind. Mindlessly, he picked up a handful of snow, watching it melt into a puddle in his palm. Raen, why did you have to say that? Why did you have to go and ruin what we have? How did he ruin what you guys have? No, that's not right. He's given me exactly what I wanted. What I wanted all this time. I'm the problem, not him.
Fawn, I have to be honest with you. I don't want this awkwardness to continue between us. You're too important to me. I've been thinking hard. Probably harder than I ever have before. I'm still so confused. But I'm sure of one thing. You. I've always been sure of you.
What are you saying?
Fawn, I think I'm in love with you. It's not a new thing. I think this feeling has always been inside me. I've only just realized it.
What?
You mean everything to me. When I think about everything I've gone through, I would do it all again if it meant that I got to meet you. You're wonderful, handsome and cute, smart and wise. More than I deserve, but what do you say?
Of course. It's obvious, isn't it? I love you too. I want to tell you, to scream it at the top of my lungs. But I don't deserve you. I'm a monster. What if I hurt you too? I won't be able to live with myself. There's no happy ending for us. There never will be.
I need some time to collect my thoughts. Is that okay?
He loves him back, but he's worried about hurting him. I should have kept my distance. I should have stayed in the forest. Left Raen and Leos to go to Stagwitch by themselves. I'm so sorry. Fawn's face dropped into his hands and he could barely hold back the tears. Someone as disgusting as me could never have Raen. I should just run away. He'd be better suited to Sign after all. His tears hit the snow again and again until there were none left. Even if he wanted to cry more, he couldn't.
Fawn? Is that you? What are you doing down there? It's the middle of the night and it's freezing. Come on, get up from there.
I was just going for a walk.
Looks to me like you're sitting in the snow crying. What is it?
You're from Cliffspire, aren't you?
Oh! Oh, he is burnt! Oh no. Titus quietly pulls down his mask, revealing the burn marks under
How
it.
did you guess? I don't think I ever let it slip.
I'm from Cliffspire too.
You are? Then you know about the demon?
I'm so sorry, Titus. Your parents.
It's not your fault. It's that monster. Half the village was up in flames. So many dead. It was a long time ago, though. I hear they've rebuilt and moved on. I've moved on, too.
He caused a fire, didn't he? And they think he's a demon. He thought it impossible, but his eyes welled up once again. Titus jumped back in surprise, unsure of how to deal with it.
Did you lose anyone in the fire?
My father. Then my mother later. My sisters were left to fend for themselves.
Rough. Here, stand up.
The pink-haired boy pulled Fawn to his feet.
I'm not sure exactly what's wrong, but for me, when I was feeling lost, I looked to my happiness. I have to get going, but I hope you can find your happiness too.
A blue-haired boy stood alone in the snow once again. My happiness. Okay, that's where we're stopping. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, both of his parents died, and his 7 sisters were left to fend for themselves, and he ran away, feeling guilty. Is what I'm guessing. Oh gosh. Poor baby. Oh, yeah, and he does have a big burn on his face. Poor thing. Dang it, the stories are just coming out. We getting the tea slowly. Oh goodness. Alright. Yep, we are leaving the stream here for today. We will be picking it back up next Wednesday. The best thing to do, I had to miss last Wednesday because I was sick. So the best way to keep up with if our streams are changing is to join our Discord, because I post on there if anything pops up. So I'm going to be popping the Discord link in the chat here. Maybe. Okay, it doesn't want to. Okay, hang on. I have to try this a different way. But that's the best thing to do is find our community. Okay, quick save. Do. No? Did I? Okay, I did quick save. Okay. Boop. Oh my gosh. Man, poor Fawn. He thinks he's a monster. So sad. We don't care, baby. We want you. And he loves him too, so that's good. But still, it's so sad. He thinks he's too much of a monster to have a relationship, because he feels like he's gonna hurt Raen in the future. Yeah, we gotta wait till next week to pick this up. But I do stream Sims 4 100 Baby Challenge over on Twitch exclusively, so you should check out my Twitch channels, guys, if you guys want to see into that. I have to skip the stream this Friday, so it's going to be moved to Sunday, I think, instead, because I have a work trip. But thank you for joining, guys. I'll see you all next time.